Thank you so much to Jake, Eddie, and Daya. Obviously, we've been working together over the last year, so it's lovely to see those presentations. And I'm just going to sort of talk a little bit about how that all fits together. So, I head up the AI alignment team. We're around making sure that there's safe and effective AI products for education. And I just wanted to show you this kind of journey so far, of how these bits fit together. And I'm going to talk very, very briefly and just then say how that kind of led to the policy where we are. We did do a call for evidence, which hasn't been mentioned, more traditional kind of engagement, less exciting. But then we've got that moved into hackathons, proof of concept, and public attitudes, and then policy launch. So I'm going to talk through those very, very quickly today. So just kicking off, we did a very, as I say, very traditional kind of call for evidence. We got a pretty good response. And we found that lots of teachers were already using generative AI, were using it for a range of things, but also flagged a range of risks and benefits. So they talked about saving time, more creative teaching, but also lots of concerns about not having the skills, not ha the tools not performing, concerns around student use and data protection. So we then moved into the hackathons and proof of concept, and just want to pull out a couple of key points from the hackathons. Hackathons found we were kind of expecting that working together, teachers and AI experts might find some use cases where we could say, great, go use those in schools, they work. We didn't find that. There were none of those cases. There was lots of potential, but none of it was ready. So we then moved into the creation of the proof of concept. So very quickly, this is a little bit of a technical thing. To do what Eddie just showed you, it needed to identify against the errors against the national curriculum, but that's very big, very costly. Oh, it's gone a bit strange. There we go. We needed to ensure that the tool could properly understand the meanings of the requirements in the national curriculum and use the most relevant extract as the input. So actually, it's not about just putting the national curriculum in as a PDF. We needed to encode it into a structured data model and show that doing that kind of approach improved performance from 67 to 92%. Slight nerdy detour there. Then we talked about pupil and parent attitudes, which you've just heard about. And generally, we hear that parents of pupils were generally comfortable with pupil work being used to optimize AI tools in the right circumstances and if the right conditions are met. So that's basically all of our evidence gathering and developing policy process. And what that leads to is we can see that there's potential for generative AI, but people are concerned that it's not good enough. The hackathons working together, they showed there's the potential for impact, but it doesn't meet the standard for education. The nerdy part is that the codification of information for generative AI improves the accuracy and addresses some of those concerns around accuracy that teachers have had. And then in public attitudes, we find that teacher-facing use cases for generative AI are preferred, and again, they're open to be pupil work being used in the right conditions. So that led us to conclude that government has this really important role to collate and oversee appropriate usage of education content for use with AI, which led to our policy decisions, policy announcements. So we have the content store, which is a library of educational content pre-processed for use with AI. So that's using those kind of encoded data model approaches for many different kinds of content. When we're talking about data and content for AI, we're not just talking about facts and figures or numbers about people or personal data. We've actually got this vast quantity of unstructured public sector content, such as the national curriculum, however many thousands of pieces of guidance that the DfE produces. And we recognise as well that pupil work also has a value in improving this. So, but building on what they told us, it's important to have the right permissions there. So the store will provide access to developers to support the creation of high quality education tools. This is really a kind of first of its kind approach to optimizing data for generative AI. And then alongside that, we also have a Catalyst Fund. This is really responding to those concerns from teachers about the accuracy of tools and also responding to the parents and pupils' views that they really welcome the use for teachers, but not certain about the use for pupils. So this is focused on not high stakes, but kind of formative assessment, low stakes, developing tools to help with feedback and marking. And the competition is now live, but closing, I think, next week. And yes, each winner will build an AI tool to help teachers with feedback and marking.